Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vitvaram. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. We continue our study of Vivekachudamani, shloka number 28. We saw last time Mandamadhyama rupapi vairagyena shamadina prasadena guro seyam pravruddha suyate phalam. So this shloka says that Vairagyena shamadina prasadena guroho sa iyam manda madhyama rupapi pravruddha suyate phalam. That this vairagya and shamadhi, all of these qualities, even if it is a manda madhyapi, manda uttama adhikari, madhyama adhikari and manda adhikari. So these are the three qualities of a seeker. The uttama adhikari just listens and gets it immediately, and the mind is continuously in tune with the Guru and Shastra. That is considered to be the uttama adhikari. We see that in Nachiketa, in all his qualities and all his qualifications, all the temptations which were presented to Nachiketa in Katho Upanishad. This is a description of uttama adhikari. Mandama adhikari has the bhagya of sitting in front of the teacher, listening, but some things are some things make sense, some things don't make sense. He or she tries very hard to be attentive, but some things are just not in the grasp. Manda adhikari, the person somehow has arrived in front of the teacher, is sitting, but the mind and the intellect are scanning various corners of the room and seeing how many cobwebs are out there, and just attention is not there, and is completely distracted at the level of mind. So such a person, manda adhikari, doesn't even have much vairagya, and shama adi, all the qualities of mind control, sense control, titiksha, uparati, shraddha, samadhan, each one of them which we have seen, they are also not fully developed. But prasadena guroho, but if the Guru's blessings are there, what happens? Pravruddha suyate phalam. These qualities, they become stronger. The mind all of a sudden, because of the grace of Guru, eventually turns around and is able to tune with Guru, tune with Shastra, and the person is able to take on. So that is called a person who is highly qualified, Karpura Buddhi. The Buddhi is so bright, little bit of spark and the Karpura takes on, the camphor burns. And then the charcoal Buddhi, the Madhyam Adhikari, you have to keep that charcoal in fire for a long period of time. Eventually it takes on and it is there. And then the Mandadhikari, the last one is Varatanda Buddhi, the banana stem. No matter how much we take it to the fire, it doesn't light. Not only does it not light, it puts out the fire in which it is put as well. So these are the three types of buddhis talked about. And mumukshuta is very important. That buddhi has to have that mumukshutvam, and if the mumukshutvam is not there, then the student doesn't grow, the study doesn't become fruitful. And that is what is said over here, pravruddha phalam suyate. Then the fruits of the labor of going to the class, listening to the teachings, all of that, they only become stronger. Continuing, shloka number 29. Vairagyam cha mumukshutvam tivram yasya tu vidyate tasminevarthavantas suyah phalavantas shamadayah. So yasya, in whom, tivram mumukshutvam cha vairagyam, in whom the mumukshutvam is tivram, meaning the person is endowed with intense freedom from bondage. They want out of this world of plurality. Tivra Vairagya, Tivra Mumukshutvam. Completely dispassionate towards the world and intense longing for moksha. For such a person over here, tasmin eva arthavantaha. For such a person, tasmin eva, for such a person, shamadayah, the one who is endowed with qualities such as shama, dama, uparati, titiksha, shraddha, samadhan, all of these qualities over there, arthavanta, phalavanta, arthavantaha, those who has the meaningful or fruitful becomes the journey of spirituality. Phalavantaha syuhu. For such a person becomes phalavantaha, this journey shall become fruitful. Otherwise it's futile. We may listen, we may listen, we may listen, we may listen. If all we have is just questions, 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 there has to be a point in time when the intellect soaks up and the answers dawn from within because of the grace of Bhagavan, grace of Guru, grace of Shastra. When such divine grace is there, such a person will spiritually grow, and that is very beautifully pointed out over here. We continue the study. Shloka number 30. Etayormandata yatra viraktatvam mumukshyoho maro salilavat tatra shamader bhanamatrata. So Shankaracharya ji, see, he has enumerated Vivek, Vairagya, Shamadama Adi, Shat, Sampatti and Mumukshutvam, the qualifications of a spiritual aspirant he has enumerated. But he, in the last two shlokas, we saw that Vairagya and Mumukshutvam is of utmost importance. Utmost importance, and if Vairagya and Mumukshutvam, if they are lacking the grace of the Guru, grace of Bhagavan, grace of Shastra will be there, and the person will be able to continue. In fact, Shankaracharya ji, in his Bhashya of Katho Upanishad, has enumerated that if a student comes to listen to Upanishad, this is Katho Upanishad, a dialogue between the Lord of Death, the ultimate exit from the Prapanch, and the most qualified student. And if a person has a bhagya to listen, if Shravanam is done of this Upanishad with this Shankar Bhashya, Shankaracharya ji says, even if the person is not qualified by Shravanam, in due time they will acquire qualifications. The Shruti, Shastra, please don't think it is some textbook. It is not a textbook. Shruti is a live maiden. Shruti Simanta Sindura Krutapadabja Dholika. It is said that Lakshmi ji dwells in 5 places. The first one is the temple of an elephant is a dwelling place of Lakshmi ji. Second is the backside of a cow is a Saksha dwelling place of Lakshmi ji. Deepam is a Saksha dwelling place of Shri Lakshmi ji. And the Simanta Sindura of a Sumangali, it is a Saksha dwelling place of Lakshmi. And this is Bhagya. Imagine the Simanta Sindura of Raj Rajeshwari. It is not just Lakshmi, it is Saraswati as well. Shruti Simanta Sindura Krutapadabja Dhulika. The Simanta Sindura of Mother Rajarajeshwari is Shruti. And if little bit of the Simanta Sindura of Devi Rajarajeshwari drops in front of us, that is for sure Shastra has arrived. She proudly wears Saraswati in her forehead. And all Bhagya, Ashtalakshmi. So, we should never think that Vedas, Upanishads are some textbooks. They are not. It's a divine Bhagya. It is knowledge. Knowledge is not ordinary. What all people do for college degree, the admissions to a university, so difficult to get that. Material knowledge, difficult to acquire. What to talk of spiritual knowledge? So, Shankaracharya ji in Katho Upanishad Bhashya says that if somebody is privileged to hear the Shruti Vakya from a Guru, a Samartha Guru, if qualifications are lacking, she will make sure that person gets qualifications. She will not allow ordinary person access to Shastra. It has to be live learning of a Guru. That is what is so beautifully talked about over here by Shankaracharya ji. He is saying Viraktatva and Mumukshayoho and Mumukshu Yatra Etayoho Mandata, where Virakti meaning dispassion and Mumukshutvam where it is completely lacking. So he says, and Tatra Shamadehe Bhanamatrata. For such a person, even if they have Shamadhi Shat Sampatti, it is Bhanamatra. Over here example is given, Marau Salilavat. Just like a vast expanse of desert filled with sand, there appears an appearance of water, but there is not even a drop of water. It is just a mirage. In the same way, Shamadhi Shatguna Sampatti, it just becomes mirage. It is, someone may, on the surface, they may express that. But if Vairagya and Mumukshutvam is not there on the inside, it is just a mirage. To find a Guru, Shastra, and then the Shravanam that happens, it is rare. The Sandhi, even the grammar, our Upanishads have not left. Guru Uttara Rupam. Shishya, so Guru is the first word, the second is the Shishya, Pravachanam Sandhanam, and the Pravachan unites the Guru and the Shishya. And that Pravachan is not ordinary. It is not some dialogue at a coffee table, in a coffee shop, maybe in whichever city. It's a divine discourse. It may be just underneath a banyan tree, a neem tree. For some time, Upadesh is given. This is not ordinary Upadesh. So, this Upadesh is Shastra Shruti Upadesh is not ordinary. That qualifications over here, if it is Manda, when Manda qualification of Mumukshutvam and Vairagya, then it will not bear much fruit. Now, beyond these fourfold qualification of Vivek, Vairagya, Samadhi, Shat Sampatti and Mumukshutvam, there is one complete one quality which is so important of a spiritual aspirant, and that is Bhakti. Shankaracharya ji adds this one qualification. Moksha karana samagryam bhaktireva gariyasi swasvarupānusandhānam bhaktiritya-bhidhiyate. Very beautifully, Shankaracharya ji over here, he says, Moksha karana samagryam, of all the causes of moksha, of all the causes for liberation, of all the samagris, the ingredients required, of all ingredients for the cause of liberation, Bhakti Reva Gariyasi. Bhakti is the most exalted, the most important. Gariyasi, most divine, most important is what is said over here. And you know, this devotion, to even sit in front of a teacher and to hold Shastra in hand, even for some amount of time, and then to continue to hold it, great amount of devotion is required. Devotion for Shastra, devotion for the teaching, and devotion to the teacher. All of this, it is not possible. And above all, Bhagavan, who makes all of this possible, have a healthy regard for this world. And salute Ishvara in all directions where the senses embrace. Have that love for God, love for Shastra, love for Guru, love for teaching. That is Moksha Karana Samagryam. This is, of all ingredients, Samagri, Bhakti Reva Gariyasi. Bhakti is what assimilates everything. If Vairagya is there, Vivek is there, we may be able to stay put on studies and etc. and all of those things, but the heart doesn't have devotion. Gurudev used to call, the head and the heart. This Vivek, Vairagya, all that is in the head. But this Bhakti is in the heart. this bhakti. And what is this bhakti? Swaswaroopanusandhanam. The definition of bhakti for the spiritual aspirant is to translate that love of Shastra, love for teaching, love for Guru, love for Bhagavan into the direct application that right here is the confluence of everything. Bhagavan, Shastra, Guru and Upadesh. All of that confluence is right here in the very courtyard of my heart. Swarupa Anusandhanam. That this consciousness is Brahman. Continuously seeing Paramatma in one's own heart. Anusandhanam, continuously. Not kadachit. Yena kena prakarena, whichever way the person finds Ishvara in the courtyard of their own heart. And that Ishvara is the Guru Vakya, Shruti Vakya, non-different from the teaching and the taught and the teacher. All of this is a divine glue that binds everything. Shruti comes alive and dances in the courtyard of the heart. And that mind and intellect doesn't want to drop this idea. The buddhi has Viveka Vairagya, but the heart fulfills it and doesn't allow it to drop this idea by temptations of the pluralistic world on the outside. That is Bhakti Ritya Bhidhiyate. This is what Bhakti is. Vedanta is not dry. It is not some intellectual gymnastics. People do that. There is nothing wrong in it. And great acharyas have to, for the sake of very sharp buddhi. Shankaracharya ji, this Digvijay that he had with Mandan Mishra, and he was pronounced victorious by Ubhaya Bharati, wife of Mandan Mishra. Yes, it is a highly intellectual game. But in the heart, this teaching has to ever remain. And that is bhakti. It is the crucible of devotion that holds the teaching. The quality of the intellect as medhavi, purusho, vidvan. It will come. A person who has great medha shakti, shastrartha, the deeper imports of shastra, retention of that. But to assimilate that in life is this devotion. Tapovanji Maharaj would hear a sound of a bird flying in the Himalayas and go into samadhi. Devadaru Vruksha moving about in the wind would go in samadhi. The flow of Gangaji go into samadhi. Wherever this mind goes, samadhi is there, because the heart is doped with love for Kashi Vishwanath. And the Vishwanath, Kashi, Kashyam Kashyate, which he shines brilliantly. Many times I have mentioned, with two Shaktis, food for thought, and Vishal Buddhi, this Vishalakshi, all of them go together. That is Bhakti. Bhakti, Bhakti, devotion to. It is deep, it is firm, it is immovable, unshakable. How can we remove the presence of Ma Kali from the very mind of Sri Ramakrishna Paramhamsa? Sadashiva Brahmendra writes, Khelati mama hrudaye, Sri Rama khelati mama hrudaye. How can he remove the play of Rama in the courtyard of one's own vast expanse of heart? This is Bhakti. It is very deep, very deep. It is firm. No winds of passion, no winds of desire can derail it. Nothing can destroy this firm love of Bhagavan, love of learning. Once we have it, we just have it. Narad Muni ji, Satu Parama Prema Rupa. This bhakti is of deep, deep, deep love of the higher, love of dharma, love of shastra. Bhagya of such a person that they come in contact with another person who has the same deep, unshakable faith. Bhakti is not acquired by just reading Narad Bhakti Sutra. This bhakti, it's a disease. It is contagious. Mahabhav bhavanusevitam. We have to find a person who has this devotion. We have to acquire this disease of bhakti. That is how bhakti is to be acquired. It is very deep. And once we have it, it keeps on growing. It is the best disease to have. Keeps on growing. That is what Gurudev refers to over here as bhakti, firm and deep. This allows the person to navigate through karma yoga, upasana yoga, and then jnana yoga. All of this, the confluence of karma, upasana, jnana can only be fruitful if this bhaktireva gariyasi moksha karana samagryam. Swaswaroopanusandhanam bhaktiritya vidhiyate. Then whichever mantra Gurudev used to say, one mantra, one Upanishad is more than enough. If that one mantra continuously remains in our heart, and we keep on opening that mantra and just go deep, deep, deep into that mantra, more than enough. No need for multiple Upanishads to be memorized. But if the mind is not taking on to this one mantra, one Upanishad, then the study has to continue. It has to continue. That mind has to dwell in it. How is the study going to be fruitful? So now, over here Shankaracharya ji, the next topic is the approach of a guru. We have to find a teacher whose teaching will fill up the very depths of my personality. Empty this entire crucible of sanchita karma and fill it up with the love of the higher. Such a guru is very rare to be found. Svatma tatvanusandhanam bhaktiritya pare jaguhu. So this is in Gurudev's book. It is the approach of the teacher, but actually it continues. It is a continuous thought of this bhakti, and says Svatma tattva anusandhanam. And over here this Swaswaroopanusandhanam bhaktiritya vidhiyate. I was saying one mantra of one Upanishad and continuously the nididhyasan of that one mantra of one Upanishad, and time and again leading the mind and the intellect to that and dwelling in it is bhakti. And now he's saying, so over there Swaswaroopanusandhanam, over here now it is said Swa Atma Tattva Anusandhanam. Over here what is mentioned is Aparoksha Jnana. Because of the effort of nididhyasan, it bears the fruit. And the fruit is, now the person is dwelling in this awakened state of mind. Svatma tattvanusandhanam bhaktiritya vidhi. Bhakti iti apare jaguhu. Others declared bhakti is in this aparoksha jnanam, in this direct perception to stay in it. That is also bhakti. One is the reaching, and having reached, staying in it. That is also bhakti. So he's clarifying that. And for this process to be completed, a guru is required. Ukta sadhana sampannaha tattva jignasuratmanaha upaside gurum prajnam yasmad bandha vimokshanam. So now this gurus over here, ukta sadhana sampannaha, this jignasu, this qualified student, ukta, what has been enumerated up to now, ukta sadhana sampannam, the student who is endowed with all these qualities, qualifications, tattva jignasu ratmanaha, who is A jignasu who is atmanah jignasuhu, who is this student who is desirous of Atma Tattva, such a student pragnyam gurum upasidet. For such a student who is qualified, who has a desire for moksha, may such a student with great humility, over here pragnyam, guru who is endowed with knowledge. One who is endowed with knowledge, and the teacher who has this knowledge also had a teacher from whom this teacher learned. This parampara gata prapta jnanam. Its knowledge is not just born out of buddhi. That buddhi which was ignited by the teacher of this teacher, and such a buddhi which was ignited by his guru, such a buddhi is pragnya, prakarshena, very well ignited. Such is the glory of a teacher who has acquired this knowledge through their guru, that is called endowed with knowledge. And that buddhi has been instructed on the path of dharma, on the path of karma, on the path of upasana, on the path of jnanam. Properly, the guru has also walked and come to the state of abidance in this knowledge. Such a teacher, yasmad bandha vimokshanam, for the sake of liberation from this bondage of samsara. Only a samarth guru will be able to lead us on this path. Otherwise, it is very difficult. There are so many teachers available. Nowadays, with the technology and everything available in the very palm of our hands, but if we have not prepared, and if we have not found a live teacher who has instructed in this mannerism, it is very difficult to be liberated from the clutches of Prakriti. Very difficult. She herself blesses us by presenting a guru. So now these qualifications of this guru. Who is the guru? Number 33, we continue. Shrotriyo vrujino kama hatoyo brahmavittamah brahmanyuparata shanto nirandhana iva nalaha ahetukadaya sindhuhu bandhuranatam satam. Over here, yaha brahmavittamaha, the best among the knowers of Brahman. The Guru is Brahmavitta. He is the knower of Brahman. Not only that, Shrotriyaha, he is the knower of Shastra. Shrotriya Brahmanishta Guru is what is a qualification of a Guru in Mundaka Upanishad. This whole process of approaching is mentioned in Mundaka Upanishad. So, in that Mundaka Upanishad, the Guru's qualification is Shrotriya Brahmanishtaha. And over here, Shankaracharya ji borrows that language of Upanishad, that the one who Brahmavittamaha, the best among the knowers of Brahman, Shrotriyaha, the one who has found a Guru and learned Shastra from his Guru. So indirectly, Parampara is also mentioned by Shrotriya. Shankaracharya himself says, even if one is Medhavi Pandito api Shastra Anveshanam Swatantrayena na kuryat. One may be a Pandita, one may have, the buddhi may be understanding, but by one's own self, one should never ever study Shastra. Shastra should always be studied with a Guru, because only a Guru can remove the subtle defects of the buddhi. Only a Samarth Guru will be able to remove, and that buddhi will become Nirmal Buddhi. Without the intervention of a Guru, this buddhi will never ever be purified. Such a person becomes Shrotriya and Brahmanishtha, knower of Shastra, and the knowledge of Shastra bears firm abidance in this Brahman. Avrajinaha. Avrajinaha, sinless. Now, why would this sinless? Obviously, if somebody is Shrotriya Brahmanishta, they better not be committing any sins. Over here, sinless. In our Shastra, avidya is the greatest sin. What is said by sinless is a person doesn't even have a wee bit of avidya. That is what is implied by sinless. Not even a wee bit of avidya. Such a person gains abidance. Avrajinaha akamahataha. Akamaha. One who akama hataha, the one who has completely destroyed kamana, who has no desires. Has absolutely no desires, not even one lingering desire is there. No ahankar, no desire for name, fame, power, position, even for somebody to validate their own existence. Nothing, no desire. Such a teacher over here, Brahmani Uparataha, the one who's ever dwelling in Brahman, the one who has ever abidance in Brahman. And over here, Shantaha, the one whose Manabuddhi Chitta Ahankar, Antakarana, has no modification. This inner equipment has rendered still. One is quiet and the other one is still. Not only is it quiet, but it is still. It remains unperturbed. Prakriti on the outside keeps on marching to the tunes of time, but no modification that time brings to the antakarana. Nirindina iva analaha. Analaha, fire. Nirindina, where the fuel has completely burned out. In a pile which needs to be lit, a wooden pile, when it is burned, when the wood is dry, and when it is set to fire, it burns brilliantly until the wood is there. But when all wood is burned down to ashes, can we take ashes and try to burn ashes? Once everything is reduced to ashes, the ashes cannot be set to fire again. In the same way, the sanchit karmas, by the very presence of jnanam, has been burned down to ashes. No accumulated karmic debt can affect this person. The prarabdha karma can continue and will continue to act upon this great Guru, the knower of truth, but no sanchit karma. And prarabdha is not even acknowledged as prarabdha in the very lit courtyard of that mind. Will navigate through thick and thin of life. Such a person over here, nirindhana iva analaha, ahetuka daya sindhu. Such a person has great compassion for this world because they have navigated through this world, and because they have navigated through this world, and once upon a time that Guru, when he or she was a spiritual aspirant and were desirous of moksha, they remember the days when it was so difficult to continue on this journey of Shravanam, Mananam and Nididhyasan. And they remember that it was the grace of their Guru, grace of their Ishta Devata, grace of the Shastra they studied that allowed them to reach this state, this Padvi of Brahmavittamaha. So that Guru, when the eye casts upon a student, they will have the same cooling glances upon the student and will bless them for their purification and for their journey to reach the state of enlightenment. Thus, causeless ocean of compassion. They have walked the path, so they understand it. Such a teacher is ahetuka daya sindhuhu bandhuhu anamatam satam. Anamatam asamantat namatam. When the student asamantat, completely namatam, they come to bow down, to surrender, to take refuge at the feet of such a Guru, bandhuhu, this teacher becomes the best friend. When in the beginning of the second chapter, Arjun ji says, Karpanya dosho bhavata svabhava pruchhami tvam dharma sammoda chetaha. That Bhagavan, pitiable is the state of this mind of mine. This buddhi dharma sammoda chetaha. Yat shreyas shyat nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. You please instruct me what is good for me. Shreyas, paramashreyas. Because now I don't know what is shreya. This buddhi has gone through a lot, and it cannot sieve through. So, shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. Tvam prapannam is what is said over here. Anamatam, I bow down to you. So, when the student bows down and says, instruct me, that teacher, over here, Shankaracharya ji says, bandhuhu anamatanam. The ones who have bowed down, he becomes the best friend. And Bhagavan Krishna also says that you are sakhame, you are my friend. Bhaktosi sakha cheti. You are my devotee, you are my friend, Arjuna. And same qualifications over here is uttered by Shankaracharya ji as Bandhuhu Anamatam Satanam. He very beautifully over here bowing down to the teacher and requesting the teacher to teach, qualifications of the teacher, you know. So Shrotriyo Vrajina Akamahataha Yo Brahmavittamah Brahmani Uparataha Shantaha. Then Nirandana Ivanalaha Ahetukadaya Sindhuhu and Bandhuhu Anamatam. All these qualifications Shankaracharya ji, see, he uses Shruti and Smruti as a Praman in Vivekachudamani. It is his composition. It is not born out of his buddhi. He is learning from Govinda Bhagavat Padacharya ji. Shruti and Smruti are the Praman for the qualification of Guru. Over here we see that in Vyasa Smruti and various Shruti we see from various Upanishads. We will continue. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.